glue collage papers into an acrylic painting, what you want is an acrylic polymer medium that pours. This is somewhat confusing because different companies call it different things. I use mostly golden matte medium. You can also use gloss medium. I prefer the matte these days. I used gloss for years, but I don't like how shiny the gloss is. If you're going to glue something heavier, like a really heavy paper or possibly some cloth that's heavier, you may want to use gel. And that comes in gloss or matte as well. Sometimes when I'm gluing heavier papers or fabrics, I spray the paper or the fabric lightly with water before I glue it. The dampened paper absorbs the medium or the gel into the fibers a bit better. There's no need to saturate it. A light spritz is fine. And also, if the paper I'm going to glue has a shiny surface, I often sand it lightly prior to gluing. This allows the medium or the gel to absorb into the surface just a little better. And when you're gluing heavier paper, it's much more likely that it'll bubble up as it dries. So you really have to watch it and babysit it to notice and smooth out any bubbles that form. Also, when you're gluing heavier papers, you might want to apply the gel to the paper as well as to the substrate. I separate the papers by color because they're easier to find. Like when I think, okay, I need something that's blue or green, then I can just go to that box and grab something. Before I glue, I set papers out, and sometimes I'll even glue a couple pieces at the same time. I'll glue one and then I'll smear the excess medium over and glue a second one, just because I don't like to waste the medium. But I really do try to pay attention to where they're going to go before I glue them down. So one of the most important things, if not the most, is to make sure you use plenty of matte medium. I buy this stuff in 32-ounce jars, and I then get myself a squeezy bottle of some sort and I pour it into the squeezy bottle. That's just so much easier to use. You just pick it up and pour a little bit onto your board, onto your panel. And then I use usually a palette knife, or I have some rubber-tipped tools that I really like. I spread it out with the tool. I lay the paper carefully down in the orientation that I want. Then I use the tool to smear it out, and I do that in a way that's kind of like spokes of a wheel. And I will put my finger down on the paper because depending on the size of the paper and other things, it can sort of start to shift around. So I'll kind of hold it in place. Some of the matte medium that's underneath will come out, and that's good. And then I also make sure I get all the excess medium off. Once in a while, I'll be gluing a piece of collage material down, and if I don't like it and it's looking like it's not what I want, I'll just pull it right back off, which is plenty easy. It's easy to do if the medium's still fairly wet. There is an element of surprise with this because the paper, especially like Deli paper, once it's glued down, whatever's underneath will show through, and you can't see that when you lay the dry paper on top. So it's kind of exciting. It's like pulling ceramics out of a kiln. There's this piece of it that you just can't anticipate. Thanks for watching. See you in my upcoming video.